Hi everyone, I'm Cassidy. I'm the Adult Services Supervisor here at the Bourbonnais Public Library. Today I'm going to talk about some of my favorite book club titles that we've discussed over the past few years. I've been leading book clubs here for almost 5 years, and we've read some really good ones and some not so good ones, but I'm going to discuss some of my favorites today. So the first one I'm going to talk about today is Carnegies Made by Marie Benedict. So it's a really nice historical fiction novel about Andrew Carnegie. So Andrew Carnegie is pretty legendary in the business world. He was a very big philanthropist as well. And he actually donated a lot of money towards the creation of libraries in the 19th century. So I was obviously interested in him, and this book is about his fictional romance with his Irish maid. So it's just really good. If you want to learn more about history in this country, I really recommend it. The next book I'm going to talk about is A Man Called Ove by Fredrik Backman. Now, this book, when I first read it a few years ago, really took me by surprise because if you look at the cover, it doesn't look terribly exciting, but man, did I love this book. So it's really a heartwarming story about just a grumpy old man who hates the world, who's cut off all connection with family and just his neighbors until this really spunky young family moves next door and they try to break down his walls and they become like family to him. So it's just a really good book. I laughed and I cried throughout this entire book, so I really recommend this one. The next book I'm going to discuss is The Radium Girls by Kate Moore. So this is a nonfiction book about women who worked in radium dial factories. So this was before people realized that radium was a super dangerous substance, and these women in this factory were working with it bare hands in their mouths day by day. Now, it's not a happy book. It's very gruesome at times because of the medical conditions these women did experience because of this, but it's a really fascinating part of our history, and that because of these workers in these factories, they fought for things like rights and unions and why it's important to take care of your people. So I really recommend it just because I learned so much and it really stuck with me even though I read it like 2 years ago at this point. The next novel is Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. So a lot of you may know this title because there is an HBO series that was based on it. So it's a mystery about a series of women who are mothers for an elite boarding school. So you see a lot of like competition in this book, and all you know at the start of it is that somebody died and that one of the main characters did it. So it really keeps you in suspense, and it keeps you reading to find out what happened. And then it also has a theme of female friendship, how like perhaps we should stick behind each other and lift each other up and not just tear each other down. So I do recommend it for a good mystery. And then the last novel that I'm going to discuss is The Last Days of Night by Graham Moore. This is another novel that took me by surprise because I wasn't really sure if it would be like really exciting or not, but boy, was it. It's a historical fiction novel about the controversy and drama between George Westinghouse and Thomas Edison about the creation, about who created the light bulb. And something in history, like I remember learning about Thomas Edison in school, and it was just assumed that he was the one that did it, but apparently there was a lot of controversy about George Westinghouse claimed that he did, but Edison really fought. Edison had a lot of power and really put these little companies in their places. And then you also see Nikola Tesla pop up, and you see him in all of his eccentricities. So it's a really good novel. I just learned so much, and the author really had a lot of talent for talking about this subject. So those are 5 of my favorites. I read a lot more that I loved, but these are just 5 that I chose. I hope that you enjoy that. If you need any other recommendations for adult fiction novels, don't hesitate to ask or look into our book clubs that we're offering right now. Thanks. Have a nice day.